Hey guys, back here from a pack here. As promised, I am here to give you an update on my infused oils and my tincture that I made a few weeks back. Actually six weeks back. I want to show you what went really well and what didn't go so well. And guys, can you believe it's because I didn't follow my own advice? I was trying to cut corners and I said, you know what? I need to come and show you what went well and what didn't go well so you guys won't make the same mistake. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Let's go get an update on these oils. All right, guys, so first thing, let's go check on this oregano oil. So this was done on 6/7. Today is 7/31, so it's been about 7 weeks. So let's go ahead, open this up and check. All right, so the color looks nice and rich. Let's hold it up to the light. Wow, look at that color. You can see that the oregano is nicely infused. What I did a few weeks in, I got some weight so that the oregano would stay down, because the oregano was always floated up to the top and I had to keep, shaking it. Even though after like a week or so, I got tired of the shaking, so I just got the weights. So I'm gonna, pour this off now and then see what the oil looks like. So make sure you have a clean strainer and just pour it a little bit at a time. It has a weight in there, so I don't want the weight to fall in. Oops. I'm gonna put the camera down for a minute. So this is the weight that I got. I got it on Amazon. I think it cost, I'll put the price up there. I don't remember what the price is, but I got a pack of like 6. So this comes in really handy. And what that does, it keeps the herbs all the way down so that it's completely covered with oil. So let's do this. Let's check out this oil. Guys, remember this was olive oil, very, very light color, see-through, and then look at it now. Look at that dark, rich color. So this is definitely a win. The oil, when you look at the color, it's still nice and clear. You can see through it, no mold, no problems. So this one is definitely a win. And if you guys missed that video on how we did it, please go back. So let's taste this. I'm used to using oregano oil. Like if I get sick, I'll use a little oregano oil. And it really helps to cut the cold back, or sometimes the cold doesn't even happen. It's really, really good to fight colds. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this. Taste it. Wow, yes, it's strong. It tastes a strong oregano flavor. It's not as strong as when you buy the little essential oil or the little tiny dropper ones. Like if you go to the pharmacy, because of course this is just an infused oil. All right, so next we have a Spanish needle tincture. And I can't remember if I did this. I think I did this like the week after the video. So I went out, collected a whole lot of Spanish needle. This is another thing. I did a video on this one also that has a ton of medicinal benefits. It works really well as a tincture. With tinctures, they use vodka, or you can use some kind of vinegar too, but the vinegar doesn't last as long. Like the apple cider vinegar doesn't last as long as vodka. Vodka tinctures can last for years. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this. I'm gonna have to use a different strainer and strain this off into a different bottle, but I'm gonna keep this in this vodka tincture. Let's see what it tastes like. If you guys missed that video, go back and check out the incredible health benefits of this thing that is like a wild weed throughout Florida and a lot of the tropical islands, especially in Jamaica. It's all over. Let's try this. Oh, whew, it is strong. But guys, it doesn't just have a vodka flavor. It has you can taste the Spanish needle. You can taste the herbal notes. So this is really well infused. Um, I'll probably do this off camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and strain this off also and probably keep this in a cupboard. And this is something that may seem obvious, but I just wanna explain this. After this bottle is cleaned, be sure that it's thoroughly dried. If you have to stick it in the oven and bake it to be thoroughly dried, be sure it's thoroughly dried, or take a clean napkin, a clean cloth, and thoroughly dry it inside. Make sure it's thoroughly dried before you pour the oil back in. Otherwise, it will get mold. Thank God the oregano oil didn't get mold. However, my rosemary oil got mold. And let me show you. And as I said, this is totally my fault. I said on the video, be sure that everything is fully dried and that you will get mold if it's not fully dried. My rosemary was, I'd harvested everything, I'd washed everything, I'd waited for it to dry a few hours. The rosemary was mainly dry, but I think there were a couple parts, when you're doing something and you kind of feel, it's not really ready, but I kind of rushed it. And I did the rosemary oil before the rosemary was completely dry. I think what I would do to avoid this next time is I would actually use dehydrated herbs. I'd use dehydrated rosemary. You guys know I have a ton of rosemary outside and a ton of oregano. I think I would dehydrate it, so I use completely dried rosemary. So when you look at the rosemary oil, on the surface, it looks good. You can see it got a really dark, rich color. Look at that, guys. Look at the darkness of that rosemary oil. But if you look carefully, you can barely see it, but there's some slight little whiteness, like a slight little bit of, wait, is it forming? Yes. It looks like a slight bit of mold forming, very slight. And one of the instructions I gave is that you really should be shaking the oils, these extracts. You should be shaking them every few days. Not so much needed for vodka, because the vodka, nothing is going to grow in there. However, if there's when you're using fresh herbs, if there's any form of moisture, not just on the leaves, but in the leaves, any kind of moisture as it extracts, that moisture can cause mold. I probably shook my bottles for a couple days, maybe the first week or so. I shook them a few times, but you really need to shake it all the time if you're getting to avoid getting mold. And let's look. I'm gonna pull up a piece where I think I see mold so we can see what it looks like. Not seeing it. From the bottle, it looked like there was some mold. Okay, so maybe the spores just started forming. From the side, it did look like I saw something, but I'm gonna go ahead and pour this off. I mean, it does still look very clear. What I may do is just use this one strictly for the hair and not use it for cooking. You guys let me know. You guys who have done these infused oils, please let me know what you think. Should I start over from scratch, or should I go ahead and use this? The oil does look clear, it does look good, but I thought maybe it was my imagination, but I did think I thought I saw something. So this might be okay then, but just because I thought I saw something, I'm gonna save this one only for the hair. I don't think it's gonna affect the hair. Plus I also do have essential oils that I can add to this. I have some tea tree oil, which is antifungal. I'm gonna add some lavender for scent, and I'm also gonna add vitamin E. And then I'll save this one only for the hair. But guys, I'd love to hear what you think. Also, I would recommend using these weights to weight down the herbs, and that's gonna cause you to use a whole lot less in olive oil. Remember that one big bottle of olive oil was enough for just these two bottles. If I had actually used the weights, I probably could have used, a third less olive oil, because there would be a lot less in there to cover up. So it would have saved me a lot of money on my oil and also on my vodka. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for the oils. So Strained everything out. I have my rosemary oil, my oregano oil, and thank God the rosemary oil was perfectly healthy, no spores. So I don't know what I saw, but it's perfectly good. Anyway, I can definitely advise you, make sure your rosemary is completely dry if you're using it fresh, or just use dehydrated where there's no moisture so you have less chances. And be sure to shake it every few days just to make sure there are no spores. Also, what I did was I dated it. I put all the benefits and uses. There's a whole lot more uses, but I just put some of the main ones that I'll remember, when I have to use this. And also, I put some rosemary oil in this little dropper bottle. The dropper bottles came, I think there were probably like 2 dozen in there, but it has this little spout, so it's easy to just pour it, funnel, this little funnel that's easy to pour it into the bottles. So this one I'm gonna use just for my hair. It will be really easy since it has a dropper on it. And I added a little tea tree oil and lavender, and I just labeled it that it's for daily use for hair growth and to strengthen the hair, and it's also great for hot oil treatment. So that's how I'll be using this one. Guys, I didn't mention, I actually just used the rosemary oil. I was about to cook dinner. I just sauteed some shrimp in the rosemary oil and a ton of garlic, little salt, a little black pepper, little scotch bonnet, and it was delicious. So I'm already using it before the video is even done. Oregano oil, guys, I can't live without my oregano oil. Listed out the benefits here. I'll definitely be hitting this up, especially if I feel like I'm coming on with a cold. Oregano oil always knocks it out immediately. Then of course we have our tincture, or Biden's tincture, or Spanish needle tincture, and we'll be using that as needed. So as I always say on my videos, I'm not a doctor, so you do your own research, but this is just some guidance. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm doing. I would absolutely prefer to take these things as a preventative, or if I feel like I'm coming down with something, rather than wait until I get sick and then I have to be taking all these man-made chemical medicines that usually have a million side effects. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, there's lots more coming. I have blue butterfly pea out flowers that I've been harvesting like crazy. I mean, I've been harvesting them like every day, every other day. So I have a ton of blue butterfly peas that has its own benefits. It's really good for your state of mind, and just gives you a really good peaceful whole demeanor. It's really good for you. The vervain or blue porterweed that I have, I'm gonna be doing tinctures or just drying them for teas. Plus I have my mango leaves, my guava leaves, my soursop leaves, guys. I have so much out there. My backyard and our backyard, guys, that's where we should get our true medicine from. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. Till next time, bye now.